What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Spencer. And, yep, so I'm going to give the deck profile, just like I said I would yesterday, of the Galaxy Eyes. Really fun deck, man. I mean, this is kind of like my first original deck that I've fallen in love with. It's such a goofy way of saying it, but this is one of my first favorite decks. Love the card art for all of these, man. This is the most vibrant deck, I think, in Yu-Gi-Oh! And with a card like Zeus, I think that also kind of stays within that theme of just having these neon colors. It's so fun. But in any case, I do run the three Jizukuru, and this is really important. First of all, it works with Galaxy Soldier. It is a light monster. But the other important part about it is Photon Sanctuary locks you into special summoning light monsters. So if you were to special summon a different kaiju, you would not be able to basically do anything for the rest of the turn if this is in your hand. So you want that to be a 0% chance, and that's the way you do it. So this does contain some OCG cards, but that's you kind of have to. It's so vital to the deck. So I'm sure you could sub these out for like something, but for the time being, I'm not really interested in playing Galaxy Eyes in IRL until these cards come out. But this is Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon, which was announced so long ago, it feels like. So I don't really know why we don't have it yet. But the three Photon Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, I used to play this at 2, but the card like Pot of Desires, you just have to basically. The 2 Galaxy Knight, used to run this at 1 as well, but this is probably a card you want to resolve twice in a duel, but it comes bricky in the hand, so 2 is a good kind of ratio for that. And then a 1 Galaxy Brave as well. This card's searchable, so you don't really ever want to see this until you want to. That's why it runs at 1, but it can be a decent extender for sure. The 3 Galaxy Soldier, I think it's popular to run this at 2 in most decks, but this is actually like what it's supposed to be played in, so you definitely want to run this at 3. It searches the entire archetype. The 1 Galaxy Wizard, yeah, I mean, I've struggled with this in terms of play starters, but you definitely want it at 1 because if you can search it off of Galaxy Soldier and make it like a rank 8, and that can be used with Galaxy Expedition, like that's really important, but you don't want to see it too much. 1 seems to be the perfect ratio for me. You need a lot of play starters, and this is what's going to give it to you. Photon Thrasher. You want to do everything you can not to normal summon. Your normal summon should always be Galaxy Knight, but sometimes you're forced to go into Galaxy Wizard. That's why, again, another reason I only run it at 1. But these are all your normal summon play starters, and these work obviously off in tandem together. So if you see both in your hands, pretty good, and it helps you go into the Star Liege Lord Galaxion, whatever you want to call it. And the 3 Photon Banisher, obviously. You're going to run 3 Photon Orbital, probably the most expensive card in the deck outside of Zeus. But it's absolute necessity. You have to run it at 3. Super ultra important, unfortunately, but every deck seems to have that one card, right? This is the new ZW Pegasus Twin Saber. It can be equipped from the deck using Union Carrier, becomes a monster negate. If you guys don't really know where that comes from, you can go ahead and watch any of my replay videos. I use it quite a bit. That was the only card to survive the whole ZW package that I had been running for a little bit. This is a really expensive card, so you can obviously change this out for Twin Twisters and stuff, but just this obviously is the best version. This is always a Blind Go second deck. 2 Lightning Storm with 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. You don't really need to run 3 of these, because it kind of essentially does the same thing. This is for back row, but it's nice to have the effect, obviously, if your opponent's playing like Drytron and you're trying to get rid of their Vanity's Ruler, I think it's called. It doesn't let you special summon, so it has a utility effect in that as well, but it can be negated, so that's why you're probably not running it at 3. The 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, of course you're going to run that. The 3 Photon Sanctuary, it's a 1 card Bujin, it's a 1 card Galaxy Eye Soul Flare Dragon, it's a 1 card Union Carrier, the best card in the deck pretty much as far as I'm concerned. Really good. And if any other cards like this come out, this is always going to be at the top of the list. So overpowered card in an underpowered deck, obviously. The 2 Pot of Desires and the 1 Trade-In. You used to run this at 3. It just you do not want to draw into Pot of Desires off of Pot of Desires. I think that's everyone's worry, but this seems to work well. You get the you can almost always add a level 8 if you don't have it in your hand, like through one way or the other. There's so many different ways to do that, so you can kind of trigger this whenever you want. It's just better because cards like Ash Blossom are already out in the format, so you don't want to go like super ultra negative. It's good at this ratio. This is a great draw ratio. 3 Dark Ruler no more. Again, you need blowout cards against your opponent to win with this deck, so that's why that's there. Obviously, you see all these like mega going second cards. The 2 Galaxy Expedition. I used to run this at 3. It's too bricky. 2 is fine. It's searchable with Galaxy Wizard as well. And then, of course, you have Galaxy Trance, another card that is searchable through a myriad of ways. This is a card, you can also search this, obviously, with number 90, which is probably the way you're going to do it most of the time. So this is good at 1. And then the 1 Galaxy 0. The cool thing about this archetype is everything is searchable in one way or another. You can usually get to the cards you want. That's why you don't run too many of them. It's concise. It's good with where it's at. 2 Zeus, I mean, you can run this at 1, especially if you're trying to pick this deck up. You're probably not going to be buying 2 Zeus for a Galaxy Eyes deck, unless you just happen to own like Zodiac Eldritch or something, and you have like multiple copies of it already. You just kind of switch it over. But for the average person, 1 is probably fine. I don't think it's an overly stupid expensive card. I think it's like $60. So in any Yu-Gi-Oh deck, you're gonna have to invest in at least 1 card, and this will probably be the one that you do it. This card's an absolute necessity in Galaxy Eyes. It changes everything, like I said in the video. So yeah, that's why I have it there. This is again an OCG card that was announced pretty recently. Looks really cool, man. I can't wait to get my hands on this. But it turns any monster your opponent controls into an Exceed monster. Super awesome, super important. It, again, changes everything in the deck. Galaxy Eyes, 1 Cypher Blade, 1 Photon Armor, full armor Photon Dragon, and the 1 OG Galaxy Eyes Cypher. I used to, like, way back in the day, run multiple copies of this, and if you take out 1 Zeus, obviously you'll probably run another one of these, or at least another Galaxy Eyes Cypher, but your duels aren't usually too long-winded. You're not going to be playing a grind duel in Galaxy Eyes, so you're probably only going to want to use this effect once if you're not going for game at some point, or going amongst the other thousands of routes you can. When your extra deck is wide open, everything's essentially one of. The Hope Harbinger to grab spell cards, it negates in, sucks it in, and it's good to redirect attacks to it. Everything's good about it. This is a game ender in some sense, especially if you can attach Afterglow to it. This is a number 107 Galaxy Eyes Techion Dragon. I used to run the trap card, but this deck is so just fragile, so it's not even worth playing that trap card, even if it is a little overpowered. But the reason I say that is because you can activate it from the hand if you have this card. But yeah. The Galaxy Eyes Photon Lord, really great because it can avoid destruction. It's a good card to equip with this. It searches everything. Definitely the best card in the extra deck, kind of like from an objective stance, from an advantage sense, everything. And then you obviously have the Infinity package that works with Galaxy Soldier. Definitely need that. And the card I mentioned earlier, Starliege Lord's Galaxion. The 1 Soul Flare Dragon, it's really good if you can grab that Galaxy Knight back to your hand. I think I did a replay with that yesterday. So if you grab this back to your hand and you haven't normal summoned that turn, like let's say you activate Photon Sanctuary, well, that's a 1 card rank 8, which is really good. The Bujin Link monster helps you go into your rank 8s, keeps it really flexible. It's an extremely important card, an absolute must. And then the 1 Union Carrier, which I don't think is too expensive either, but I picked up a copy a long time ago. This card's just so good. And I just hope it never gets banned, because this is usually never the problem card. It usually helps a lot of equip archetypes, so hopefully Konami continues, or I guess they would start to. I don't think any card's been banned around it except for Buster, the Destruction Sword that locks you out of the extra deck, which is really important. So I like that they're doing that instead of banning this card, because that's obviously, those cards are the problem. Anyways, with the side deck, I do run evenly matched. Like I told you, you're going to burn through a ton of advantage all the time with this deck, so you have to find ways to keep the hand size and just keep equal with your opponent. This is one way to do it. And obviously, this is just a good card in and of itself. 3 Galaxy Cyclone, you never know when you're playing extra deck back row. I think it's extremely popular now, so I'm main decking spell and trap removal. But you may need more. You never know what you're going to play. The 3 Raigeki, or I think it's actually 1 of, so you probably just change this into, yeah, it's only 1 of. You're going to change this to a Dark Hole. I'll just do it right now. I don't know why I thought that was at 3 of. Of course it's not. The reason you're doing this is because cards like Vanity's Ruler are around town. In addition, you have, Zeus. So that's another card you definitely, like, this is technically one of the only outs you can have. So it's nice to see that these have their time back in the limelight, I guess. And again, it's a good going second card, but you don't want to main it, because your opponent's going to put up a bunch of negates. This is a waste of a card for the most part. 3 Nibiru, any combo deck, you're going to be siding out a bunch of stuff. You just never know. I don't like main decking, and I think there's a lot of decks that just aren't special summoning a lot. There's a lot of control decks out there right now. You may want to, I'm not sure. I would guess it would replace Dark Ruler no more. So it just depends on pretty much your preference. But once again, I love No Material. It's such a great card, and you're always going to be going second. So this card is almost always going to be online if you draw into it. It's just, there's against Zodiac Eldritch, Drytron is even good in. This is a great card for this format. And I may do, again, another like hand trap video or something. I think I did tech cards, so I might make another tech card for January 2021. Not sure. But that's going to do it for the deck profile. Tomorrow I'm doing, well, I guess, yeah, tomorrow, since I'm recording this at night, the day after this video comes out, let's say it that way, I am going to do the Space Bear archetype. I think it's called Bear Tie or something, but I think, to me, they're Space Bears, and obviously that name isn't going to continue. Konami never keeps the same name as the one that's initially announced. So I'm going to call them Space Bears. A new Synchro Summoning archetype, so that'll be really fun, so look forward to that. Other than that, guys, it's going to do it for today's video. Hope you have an absolutely wonderful night. Oh, and shoot, you know what? I'll just do it next video, but I'll do it now, too. Thank you guys so much for 300 subs. I can't believe I keep forgetting that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll do a proper video, but if you're still tuning in for this deck profile, I appreciate you guys so much. It's a blessing to make these videos for every day. I appreciate the support everyone's been giving me. But yeah, that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you have a great night.